a very smart segment where I pretend to read a fake letter that I wrote upstairs from two children with names that rhyme.
Wow.
Oh, we're a smart show. Dear Wildes, love the show and the recent conversations about Wemby and how many stocks, steals and blocks, he has. Question for Brew. Before he casts his official vote, how much does Brew analyze defensive statistics like defensive plus minus and stocks? Thanks, Ryan and Brian. Well, question for you, Brew. Are you analyzing stocks and other defensive metrics?
Oh, I'm looking at all of it. Defensive win shares.
And stocks?
Defensive BP. Stock.
We have a pun ban on the show. It's just so stupid.
I think that belly is getting bigger.
The best part of that was he just kept answering, looking at you, and that was on the screen for a good 2 seconds before Brew knew.
Western music.
You know what? And that's why.
Wish this bit
that's
would die
why I don't feel the least bit guilty
about what?
About flouting your rules in this week's Bud List.
Okay, it's not my rule.
Your rule is all 3. It used to be 5.
It used to be
when
5,
I first started the show, it was 5. You cut it
we
to
also
3
were doing the show
because I
from
was
our
shining too brightly.
No, that's right, bro.
So
that's exactly right.
I got
and
America.
he blamed the studio and like the show shorter.
Surveys.
Yeah, the focus groups say they want less
Exactly.
names.
All right, let's go.
I've got 5 people in this week's Bud.
Yeah.
Just to
Good job, bro.
get
Stick
your
it
goal.
to him.
All right, at number 3, CJ Stroud. All right, now look, very subtly, he'll deny it probably, but Nick has tried to steal you from me, CJ.
Well, you said you
Very
need to see
loudly,
more from him.
loudly, Greg Jennings has tried to steal him, but you're still my guy, and that's why I'm trying to motivate you, CJ, for next year. Now, look, it's a tall order, but I got to just kick the facts. Brock Purdy got to the Super Bowl in his second year.
True.
Joe Burrow got to the Super Bowl in his second season. All right? And so now that is the charge. All right? And you do have great weapons now. You got 3 very good receivers, maybe one still great. You got Joe Mixon in the backfield. You got a defense that was good last year and will, by all estimations, be better this year. Now, the challenge is going to be this. You got one of your great receivers. You just got Stephon Diggs. Stephon's, if he brings his diva-like qualities to Houston, he may not, or he may. You have got to be able to handle it. You have got to fight off the temptation to force the ball to him and lay down the law that you are the leader of the offense and you're going to throw to the open man. And a lot of times it will be Stephon. But if you can do that, you know, I told you what Purdy and Burrow did. Maybe you can get to the Super Bowl this year. CJ, I believe in you. All right, at number 2, same trade, essentially, Josh Allen. All right, now, Josh is the old school rappers used to say. It's on you, so what you gonna do? All right, it's your turn, Josh. All right, now, look, nobody really wants to hear all the excuses. And they're legit. You did lose your number 1 receiver and your number 2 receiver, for that matter. You did lose 5 captains this year. You did lose some of your greatest defensive players, and no, you don't have a number 1 receiver currently on your roster. Whether those are legit explanations and maybe not even excuses, no one wants to hear it. Because they're looking at Patrick Mahomes and they're saying he won 2 Super Bowls the last 2 years without his best receiver, Tyreek Hill. They're looking at Lamar Jackson saying he's won 2 MVPs, never had an awesome number 1 receiver. And I'm telling you, the haters are waiting to just throw the Madden cover. The MVP votes, all of that in your face, Josh. So you got to go out there and get it done. Nobody's thinking you got to win the Super Bowl, but you have to get this team to the postseason again and still have a great season. Josh, I believe in you. Now here, Wildes, you're not going to like this, but I'm doing it anyway.
How many guys are on this?
No guys, but 3 gals. And a shout out to the NCAA Women's Tournament, which has taken the nation by storm. I don't know if everybody knows, but their game Monday, was it Monday night or Sunday night? The LSU and Iowa, 12.3 million viewers, more than the NBA Finals and the World Series last year. All right, so Caitlin Clark, you're number one. All right, everybody, the casuals think you're the GOAT. But a lot of women who are really invested in the game, and a lot of men as well, are looking at it saying, nah, she's not the GOAT. She, at the very least, she's got to get a championship to even be in the conversation. All right, and I get it because all the other greats, as Wildes have shown, have won championships. And you can't just say, well, they played at UConn, they played at Tennessee, USC back in the day with Cheryl Miller. Yes, but Cheryl Swoops played at Texas Tech, which wasn't, a basketball power. So it has been done. I know it's a tall order. I know it's tight, but it's right. All right, so you got to go out there, Caitlin. And if you do beat LSU, Connecticut, and then South Carolina, presumably, that'll be a heck of a thing on your resume, and you maybe will be viewed as the GOAT. All right, the second one, Dawn Staley. Dawn, you are a made woman already. Head coach in South Carolina. You've won 2 championships. Here's the thing. I think the class she wants to get into is Gino Auriemma and Pat Summitt. Yeah. Now, Gino's got 11 championships. Pat Summitt has 8. And I get it. You don't necessarily have to get that many. But the last 2 years, last year 36-0, then you lose in the Final Four. This year 36-1. So if you go 72-2 and in 2 years and don't win the championship, that is a stain. Maybe only for a little while, but it's a stain right now on the resume. So Dawn, you got to go get it done. And finally, Paige Bueckers. Now look, Paige, when Gino said a week ago that she's the best player in the country, a lot of people thought, please, it's ridiculous. But no, when they were freshmen, Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers were both freshmen. Paige Bueckers was player of the year. Yeah. And she was viewed as better. And I remember watching like, oh, she's the one. All right. But now, obviously, the tables are turned. But I'm sure Paige, with the injuries, they took you down, the injuries for the last couple of years. But I'm sure in her mind, she still thinks she's the best player. You got a chance to go out there and prove it. And here's the last thing. Look at these names. Rebecca Lobo. Oh, yeah. Sue Bird, Swin Cash, Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore, and Brianna Stewart. All UConn alum. They all won rings. Paige Bueckers is in their class as far as individual talent, but they all got rings. You got to go get a ring, Paige. I know it's a tall order, but that's what you got to do. I do believe in you.
Brew, did that feel good?
That was great.
Great.
That was
back
great.
to your
I might start doing that every week.
You know what? I think you should.
that was
like, Wildes is going to chastise me out there. I mean, he's,
while
don't
you were
believe
in the
this
midst of the Dawn Staley thing, I saw him. He was texting our bosses. All right, so shout out to Jay Caspian King for bringing this to my attention. Draymond Green, I don't know if you guys know this, is a podcast.
What's it called?
The Draymond Green Show.
I'll check it out.
It's with my friend Colin Cowherd's media, our friend Colin Cowherd's media company. And he was on yesterday, the day before, and had this to say about the Houston Rockets and the game they have coming up against the Rockets. Let's take a listen. So, here's the thing. Draymond Green, you're a 4-time champion. You're Defensive Player of the Year. You are the linchpin of a modern dynasty. You are now beefing with Terry Eason, Jalen Green, an injured Şengün, Jabari Smith, and the 11 seed Rockets, holding over them that you can lock up the 10 seed tonight? You were the defending champs a year ago. Like, how the mighty have fallen, my friend. Like, there is an element of, sometimes it's like, oh, don't punch down because it's mean. Sometimes it's don't punch down because then people realize, oh, you're not punching down. You're punching across. Like, that is the company with which you keep. Draymond, at the very least, you got to win today, and you can't really actually take too much joy in it. Because the night that Terry Eason said Warriors come out to play was the same night that you left Steph Curry literally in tears because you couldn't keep your hands to yourself or your mouth or your voice to yourself to the officials. So Draymond, yeah, you're under duress.
That's a good one. And you're right, they better win. You put this out. I mean, I get it. You're right about everything you said, punching down. It does. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. But it'll be even sadder if they lose. All right.
I'm going to add an old friend and fan of being on the Bud list. Mac Jones.
Oh.
Mac Jones was on, was it TikTok, Dusty?
Yeah, TikTok.
Here's Mac Jones' latest TikTok. Take a listen. Is he joking or not?
I think he's serious. I
You think
want to
he's
hear
serious?
these songs.
Do you think he's joking or do you think he's serious?
I want to know what you think, buddy.
He's serious.
If he's serious, I'm happy. If he's not serious, I'm upset.
Why?
Why?
If he's totally joking around and he's like, imagine me with bars and then cackling in laughter, because it's an issue of like, could you imagine me showing presence and creativity and quick thinking
And charisma.
and processing and charisma and command of the room? Isn't that laughable? I don't like that. If you're going for a joke hobby, just be like, you know what I like? Spelunking. I got a big hat. Oh, I'm into the caves.
You are right about that one.
But if he actually has bars, ooh, I'm back in on Mac Jones. At least he's got a Drew Lock ceiling. I've seen Drew Lock on the sidelines. The Drew Lock ceiling.
I think he's serious.
If he has bars, I feel
When's
great
the
about
last time that Mac off the field conducted himself like a franchise quarterback?
it. If he has bars.
Okay.
If he's got bars, we're
What'd you
good.
think of his laugh?
You know, he thought it was fun.
That's actually a really good question, Nick. I mean, honestly, when?
Yeah. Not walking, literally.
The draft?
Not since he
Honestly,
walked
the
walked
no,
to
the wink,
podium.
the wink that I always text you guys.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.